Hi, Beth and Jonathan. It's Norma Hollis, one of your coach hosts, applying to be a showcase speaker. I would like to introduce my authenticity grid to the coach community. I have a whole backstory on it, but I don't have time to tell you that. But I will tell you that it's based on 30 years of research into human nature from personal, professional, and spiritual perspectives. And when I finished writing the program, I owned a speakers bureau and I traveled around the country to 20 cities in 18 months and introduced the grid to them and learned that the way that I came to understand myself, because my journey to authenticity was just a quest to understand who am I, that what I learned and what I have in the grid applies universally to everyone that I went to, every city that I went to, including China, Barbados, and many cities within the United States. So I would like to introduce this. It is also a self-coaching tool, and there is an assessment and an entire online school that goes behind the grid. But this grid is the foundation. And it's based on three voices that we all have within ourselves. We have an inner voice that no one hears but ourselves. We have an outer voice, which is how people perceive us. When you walk into a room, people make an immediate impression about who you are based on what they see, with no knowledge about what's going on the inside of you. And then we all have an expressive voice, which is who we have become in the world and how we spend our time day to day. There are also three basic energies that make up the human energy system, and one is think. So we are generally either thinking, which is evaluating, planning, researching, strategizing, somehow using our brain to figure something out, or we're communicating, we're talking to ourselves maybe, or we're talking to other people, or maybe we're speaking through writing, but basically we're sharing. That's how we share ourselves to the world, how we communicate. Or we are doing. And doing means we are in activity, we're in motion, we're making things happen. The things in the think side are based on what was given to you at the time of your birth. In the inner voice, the think is intuition because we're all born with the sixth sense. How do you use it? Do you develop it? The communicate side is integrity, which is your value system. How much do you honor your values? How do you live your values in the world? Your values communicate to the world who you are. And then your inspiration versus motivation. We often have things coming from the outside in to motivate us, but we don't really make change or transformation unless we're inspired to go from the inside out. On the outer voice, the top voice is the think voice, is the net wellness, which is your balance. And we look at both holistic, Eastern versus and Western. And also this is because of the DNA that you're given, that is the think side, because you were born with the DNA structure. How have you taken care of it? How do you develop it? The network is in the very middle of the grid because everything in life involves other people. In network, we talk about quality and quantity relationships and the importance of each and how they exist in your life. This shows to the world who you are. That's how you communicate to the world. Your due on the outer voice is net wealth, which is not money, but it's joy and abundance. What really brings you joy? What really gets you moving? Because it's very joyful about it, not just the details. And then on the expressive voice, the think side is legacy, which is not the gifts that you leave to your heirs, but the gifts and talents that were given to you at the time of your birth. And that's why it's on the think side, because they were given to you at birth. How have you developed them? And more importantly, how do you use them in your career? The likability side is the communicate side of the expressive voice, and that has to do with your personality. You communicate to the world based on your personality and how you express it and expose it to the world. And on the do side is lifestyle, which is your day-to-day habits. When people learn the grid, they learn to use it as a self-coaching tool. And what we recommend is that you identify either your strengths and your challenges, what I call your vulnerabilities in the dimension. And whether you take a strength-based approach or a deficit-based approach, find one thing to tweak. Find one thing to tweak to do just a little bit differently and try it on for 30 to 90 days and see how that changes your life. And then find something else to tweak, whether it's just the way you drive home from work or something that you eat or something that you drink or how you might change your words or how you might rearrange something in your house, whatever. But just tweak one thing, one at a time. And over the course of time, in the progression of tweaking every 30 to 90 days, something new, you will find your life transforming. What the grid does is help you identify where the tweaking is needed so that you can focus your life and have more clarity. I would love to teach this to other coaches. It has great value to the people that I've taught it to, and I think it'll be great value to the coaches as they learn to give depth and complexity to authenticity.